My first impression of Gavin Chesterfield, I won't lie to you, I can remember it, it was in this place here, in this bar. He was like a firework display when he came through the door. I was thinking, oh my God, what are we in line for now? Took me completely off my feet. I thought, this guy is either make it or break it. And I thought, he's going to make it. And he did. He did. He didn't let no one down. Didn't let me down, didn't let no one down.
When Gav became manager of the club, we were in a pretty precarious situation, mainly off the field. My first impressions were, why does this guy want to be manager of Barry Town? He must be mad. But I'm ever so glad that he did take the job.
Really impressed, actually. I was here for the very first meeting that he had with the fans when our previous chairman brought him into the club. And he was quite inspiring because I'd spent a year away from the club. I was just fed up. It was just a mess. And the only time in 40 years that I've spent away from the club. And Gav was proper inspiring. He had proper ideas. We were kind of sat there thinking, well, good luck with this kind of thing. And he had all sorts of great ideas from, I think he may even mentioned like academy and youth teams even back then. I mean, how long ago is it? It's donkey's years, 15 years or so. And I remember the chairman at the time chipped in with, oh yeah, and we're going to produce some bookmarks as well in order to create revenue for the club. And I'll never ever forget that. You got Gav being ultra professional, coming into this club, really having a vision. And then you got the other guy's vision, and it was, yeah, that was going to be a good time.
First met Gavin, actually, when he was coach at Ewick, and Barry Town were playing there. And I remember him coming over to us after the game, shaking our hands, saying, you know, how well we'd done, good luck for the future. I thought, what a nice guy. He didn't have to do that. So yeah, first impressions, when I first met him, was a very nice guy. When he first came to Barry Town, as we were then, it was, again, wow, what a knowledgeable guy. And I think he appreciated the history of the football club he was coming to, which I don't think many managers would have been able to do. So yeah, that was my first impression of him.
This answer's probably been well documented, really, in as much that the first time the club was probably at its lowest point it's been for a long, long time. And they advertised for a manager and they had applications. And I think Gav was about the second or third choice. By some streak of luck, he got the job. And I met him for the first day in the car park up the top. He walked in, 27-year-old, fresh-faced, out of university, with a stopwatch and pucker pad in his hand, telling me that this club is a fantastic club. It should be in Europe and it should be in the Welsh Premier. So I agreed with him, and we had a brief conversation, and he went. And I can remember phoning the kit manager, Mr. Matthew Case at the time, and telling him he'll do well the last 3 weeks. But of course, obviously, what do I know? 536 games later, 4 promotions, 3 titles, and what do I know about football? He's still here now, done really well.
Professional, very passionate as well, detailed, and seemed like a very warm, humble man from the first time I ever met him, which is a story in his own, at Ely Rangers Football Club.
What are your memories of somebody who's, all he's doing is going to another job, basically? But I remember him as Barry Town manager of being a person who had time for everybody and anybody, who was magnanimous in victory, a lot of credit to the opposition if we lost. even though inside he may have been seething. He never had a bad word to say about any team or any other manager. Other memories, and I think Gavin has brought this one up already, standing outside his office when he first came, trying to get a team out of him, because he was Mr. Angry, and trying to get, and I used to dread going down to his office on a Saturday afternoon to get the team. But eventually I got to the stage where I thought, oh, sod this, I can't go on like this. So I just used to knock the door and go in and sit there until he gave me a team. I'm not sure I ever got a team in on time in 15 years, so yeah.
One that does stand in my mind is when we had the race night down at the Billy and we couldn't get the sound to work. So Gav, being the trooper that he is, he stepped up and he did the commentary for the whole races throughout the night.
I think constantly being approachable. I mean, when he badged in on us just then, first thing he did, shake your hand, hiya Chase, how's it going, blah, blah, blah. You know, just constantly like that from the get-go. Personal memories, usually straight after matches when we've had a good win. Sometimes even in the cup. Gav phoned around people when COVID struck and then lockdown kicked in. It wasn't too long before he was phoning around supporters, especially some of the older supporters, like my parents. He phoned up just to check that they were okay. And okay, he couldn't have done anything about that, but just that kind of moment where he's checking on people, phoning up and checking on people. Are you okay? That's a special guy, that is right there.
Well, I've got a lot of memories of Gav, to be truthful. One of the ones fondest for me is I caught him on a Saturday, well, late morning, before the game, outside, looking over Jenna, leaning against the rails outside, and it was his 491st game, big occasion. And I just leaned over looking at the pitch, and he leaned next to me and he said, you know something, Matt, you understand what I'm feeling today with 491 games. And I was like, all right, Gav, I can't believe you just put me in the same category as you. I was thinking, I had 3, and I'm still having counselling. I was like that. I said, that's how humble he was. He put me in the same category as him. And that was one of the loveliest memories I've ever had. And I've had so many.
There's many. Some are probably, well, definitely not for camera, in terms of comments within the changing room and stuff maybe said which has been funny, but detailed and helped. But there's many memories. You know, one when he was dressed as a transformer on one of our Christmas outings. You know, that was great. That was a really good time, and we had some fantastic Christmas nights out. And you know, Gav never usually lets his hair down because he's quite professional.
Probably too many to mention. He's been here 16 seasons I've been with him, and I can remember obviously when we first started. Those in 2007, the first game we played, we actually borrowed a kit to play. I can remember the excitement on his face when we actually, for some reason, begged, stole and borrowed training kit. And for the first time, the players had training kit. And I can remember going in the changing room and seeing the players with 20 bags of training kit, and each player had to sing a song to get his training kit. Unique, really, but there were some really good singers, to be fair. With Shapers, love him, probably winning it by a mile. I can remember seeing him dressed as Sonic. On all, to be fair to Gav, he mucked in with all the fancy dress do's. And Sonic was one of his very many costumes. In fact, I think he got sacked that night dressed as Sonic.
Oh, I like the way he has to go Cosy all the time. Calls him the drainer. I love all that. The banter with the boys. There's lots of memories of Gavin. It's sad to put, it's just one big memory with him of everything he done, everything he said. His looks. It's the way he looked at you. If you done something wrong, it's the way he looked at you if you done something right. So And they were great. They were great. They had memories.
The thing that stands out as well as a memory is the fact that after one game that we'd played, we went back to my house and all sat down and had a Chinese meal. In the middle of that meal, Gav produced a shoebox. In that shoebox, he lifted the lid and was 3G AstroTurf. Now, me being from the, I'd like to say 80s or 90s, was strictly for grass only, nothing else at all. And he spent the whole hour trying to sell me the 3G. And you look at this today where the grass is gone, we got the 3G, not to everybody's taste, but you look at the kids from 5 o'clock in the night till 10 o'clock at the night, every night, training on this surface. And that's why there's, without a shadow of a doubt, you look at the academy now, under the academy manager, Damian Flynn, has come a huge, long way in the children and the standard of football that's now being played, all down to that vision that he had of playing with 3G. So I bowed to his superior knowledge.
There was a time when the club was in a bad state. I'm laughing about it now because it's behind us, but the club was in a bad state, and it felt like there were just a few people that cared anymore, you know. And we were trying to, a few of us were trying to get as much kind of media attention and attention off anything. We were doing anything online with Twitter and what do you call it when you add your name to things? I can't remember what it's called now. Petition. A petition, you know, we had a petition going, and like 1,000 signatures on a petition and all sorts. And all of a sudden a chance came up then to have some kind of live radio conversation on the phone. And Gav phoned me up and said, Jace, can you do this? I'm so. And I was actually in Tesco's holding a pair of parsnips. So I was literally in the middle of the shopping. And it's just because it was constant every day. You were living it every day. How can we put Barrytown into the spotlight? How can we say this is this is unjustifiable? What's happening to the club? But in the end, I think I ended up going on the radio with live with Talk Radio. I think I ended up doing. So yeah, that was just one of the many instances, I suppose. You could be doing absolutely anything anywhere, and a call might come through. Yeah, can you do this for the football club, kind of thing? So yeah, and you were always on call, and it was always. In a way, it was the worst of times, but the best of times, because you had something really to fight for, and you believed in it.
Yeah, one of the fondest memories is Gav's 40th birthday party, when Hannah invited us all to the party. I'm not too sure if she told Gav that we were all going to be coming. And we had a game out on the pitch. Afterwards, we all went upstairs, had a few beers, all went home. Went home, got changed, and we all come back to the clubhouse and entered through the lounge area. And we walked through into the Jenner suite, and Gav turned and seen us all in big numbers, and I think he was quite surprised, but it was good to see the look on his face, because I think he was very pleasantly surprised that we all put in the work, the effort to make sure we were there for his 40th birthday party. And I wouldn't have missed it for the world, of course not, but that's a fond memory, just seeing that face, because it always sticks in my mind, the joy I think I seen from him seeing us all there to celebrate his day.
I think his personal skills and his man management skills, his vision, he gets people to believe in his project, and I think that comes down to faith and trust as well, that invariably when he puts his mind to something, it comes to fruition. You can see by the club that we've got now, so I think when Gav sends something, Gav delivers. I think the biggest thing about retention of people's faith and stuff like that was 2013, when we were essentially banned by the FAW, and he managed to keep the whole squad of players, bar one, on board without a club, without a kit, without a league. That says something about Gav, that he's able to keep those players on board. Because it's their footballing careers at the end of the day.
First of all, he's a good bloke. He's a good manager. He's a very intelligent manager. We're a family football club. He's part of our family. And he's more than a manager. He's not just a manager of Barry Town United. He is part of this club. He is part of the fabric of this club. Along with others, not just Gavin, there are a lot of people here who are just part of the fabric of this club, and they are more than managers, secretaries, chairmen, whatever it may be. He bought into this football club. He helped us save this football club, so he's actually earned the right to stay here as long as he wants to.
I genuinely think he saw it, when he first came in, he saw it as a project where the club was probably at its lowest all-time level. And then you look, we both walked into the stadium, and you look at the stadium, which, obviously I'm biased, but I think it's the best stadium in non-league stadium in South Wales, let alone probably all of Wales. And he saw it as a project. And when you think of the fact that we had to borrow kit, players played for nothing for 4 or 5 years in his first reign. It was quite emotional the other night to sit down in a photograph and see some 600 kids and pan disability veterans all sat in the stand and showing, from borrowing a kit to having that amount of people. For me now, it's truly become a community club, down to the work that Gav, along with others, the chairman and staff that are here, have put into this club. And it was, like I said, quite emotional to see so many people now involved with this club. And I just think he saw it as a project, and you look at it, and he's achieved absolute wonders. The European back-to-back qualification probably was a fantastic achievement. The only disappointment being the fact that we couldn't play it, for me, we couldn't play it at Jenner Park, and we had to go away and play it at Leckwith. But to go back and think that when he walked in, I didn't give him 3 weeks, and there we were travelling to Europe twice back to back, was unbelievable.
I think because he connected the community and the club. He wasn't just a manager of 18 players. He was a supporter, a motivator, a mentor of bar staff, club staff, academy kids. He was someone who was, a local presence and face in the local community, and connected a lot of people. So he brought a lot of people together, which allowed for him to have a lot of longevity. But I also think his ability to manage not just players, but also upwards, and connect with Mark and Johnny and build a really professional but also friendly relationship with them, and get everyone to buy into the detail, the vision, the plan of what he wanted. And I think that's why he's had such longevity.
Because he's good at what he does. Probably the best coach in Wales, in my opinion anyway.
Why? It's obvious. Consistency was massive. He kept on. I've never seen anyone who got consistency like him. He would rebuild the team. He would rebuild everything. He would just have his finger on every pulse. And the success that he had, he's very clever at bringing people in, right, who he can trust, who he rely on. And you know something, right? Everybody relied on Gavin so they made them stronger, because as far as I'm concerned, if he said jump, you would say how high, and he would just get the rewards. The people he brought in was just a gift, and it was because of him, the person he was. People believed in him. They still do, and I always will.
I think if I touch upon mine and Gav's relationship, it's it's been quite a long time. It's been, you know, we're kicking on 8 years now, and he's not just been a manager to me. He's been a big supportive figure, a guide. He's helped guide me in my professional life, in my personal life, and it's been amazing. So I think, although I know he'll be on the end of the phone, but just seeing him Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday makes a difference. So I think from a missing him point of view and our relationship, there'll be a lot to miss. Huge. There'll be loads to miss for me as a person. I think as a club, we're going to miss a lot. You know, in terms of his professionalism, his warmth, having a, you know, I'm sure the new manager will come in and have a real clear identity about in terms of what we do, how we play and stuff. You know, Gav has his own style of management and his own ways, which I think we're all accustomed to now when they work. And I think that's something we'll miss because we're so used to a certain way which has worked for a long time.
I think just that personal touch, I just keep stressing that all the time, it's just that personal touch, that he's not some kind of lofty manager. He will be one-on-one. It doesn't matter who you are at the club, he will come in and approach you and have a chat and see how you are. I just think you can't buy that.
His sense of humour, but most of all, not being here. It's going to be difficult for a long while, not seeing him in the dugout on match day.
I'll miss chatting to him about the games. I'll miss his energy and his drive to better this club. But he does leave us in a far, far better place than we were in 2007 when he first came along here.
That's a good question, this is, because if I be honest with you, I'm going to probably miss everything. I'm going to miss all the football he does, how he progresses the club, how he takes it forward, how we trust him and all that stuff. But I'm going to miss him as a person as well as a friend, because you take it for granted, you see him every day. I see him all the time. You know, you've only not hard to find him down football club here, and he's there. I miss all that.
Well, he's probably one of the best coaches I've worked with in all the years I've been involved in football. On the grass is his strength, and you know, like I said, working with him for 16 seasons. When I was young and keen for the first 5 or 6 years, I actually coached with him, and it was a pleasure to work with him. I see probably when he worked with Richie Williams, I couldn't see two people more suited to coaching than those two. And you know, for me, the best coaches in Wales at the time. Fantastic. So to see him coaching, to see him as a person is, if we were knocked back, you'd see him get up and come fighting back even more. So yeah, they've been 16 very pleasurable seasons, I gotta say. And I wish him well. He deserves to go on now and get the chance to work at a Football League club, definitely.
It's certainly going to be a sad day on Saturday. No doubt I shall probably shed a tear here and there, because Gavin Chesterfield is responsible for making me cry on a number of occasions at this club. Fortunately, tears of joy. I want to thank him for everything that he's done for the club. I'd like to wish him all the best on the next chapter in his footballing career. And if he's got any spare City tickets, well, he hasn't got to look far.
I'm sure that, like me, believe it or not, Gav is very emotional. You know, when we qualified for Europe at Ballard, I can remember him telling Damian and myself to go and see the players because the tears were rolling down his face. I know he was emotional at the photograph last week with all the kids, that huge amount of children in the stand that were now under the Barrytown umbrella. When you walk up through town and you see kids in yellow shirts and red training tops now, you know, that's the sort of thing. And the message I wish him well, and I'm sure that he'll take his thing to the academy now, to the Cardiff City Academy, and they'll all enjoy the time he's going to spend there.
Yeah, I just wish him all the best. I mean, it was a couple of months ago now when I had a message off Hannah saying, Jace, can Gav ring you? And my very first response to Hannah was, oh God, not Haverfordwest again. As it turned out, it was a different Bluebirds. But I wish him all the real best. I mean, in a way, he's spent, I guess, too much time here. He should have progressed further, but he had a project in his head and he saw it through to the end. And it's great for him to be back in league football again. He obviously could have had a career with Exeter that was cut short. So for him to be back in league football again, top bloke. I wish him all the very, very best. But I'm not going to do the Ayatollah at any time soon.
I'll be honest with you, I got nothing but respect for the man, and I wish him all the best. He'll succeed wherever he goes. The guy is a success story. There's no ifs or buts. He'll wherever he goes, he will turn to gold. He will not fail. He cannot fail. He's not that kind of person. You know, look what he's done for this club. This club, I remember when he first came here, and well, there wasn't many sides, and I thought, oh, I hope this guy's right what he said. As I said, he was like a firework display when he came in, and he was right. He backed up everything he said, and I wish him all the best. Listen, I love the man to bits. I wish him all the best, and he'll always have my full backing wherever he is, as a person and a friend.
I guess there's many messages, and it's everything I've probably told him already. But for me, it's, you know, I wish him well. I wish him the best. You know, I know he deserves his opportunity to kick on now and be a part of a football league club and go and challenge himself in a different way. But I think from a personal point of view, I want to thank him, because without Gav, I wouldn't have been at this club. You know, at the time I was at Ely Rangers Football Club. I just started out in my coaching journey. We had a game against each other. We drew 3-3. After the game, he approached me informally. Then we had a formal meeting. I think, you know, a month or so later, I was at the club, and it's continued ever since. So for me, then that's allowed me to kick on and learn so much in the game, from a playing point of view, man management point of view, coaching point of view, and allowed me to gain so many more opportunities. So, you know, from a personal point of view, I want to thank Gav for everything he's done for me. But not just Gav, Hannah, his family, the lot of them, they've been amazing. So, yeah, just want to wish him well and the family, and thank them for everything they've done.
Gavin, you have been an inspiration to a lot of people at this football club. You've left a legacy, which I think that's what you wanted to do. I hope we see each other as friends. I wish you every success at Cardiff City, but you're not leaving this football club. You're just going to work somewhere else. You'll always be part of this football club. You'll always be welcome back. And please, don't be a stranger.